My name is Ren, and I am 66 years old. I spent most of my life believing that family was the one place where betrayal could never happen. I believed that no matter how difficult life became, the people you raised and loved would always stand by you. But one ordinary morning at a bank shattered that belief forever. And the worst part, the people trying to take everything from me were my own son and his wife. The morning that felt normal. It started like any other morning. The sun was rising slowly, painting the sky in soft orange and gold. I poured myself a cup of coffee and sat by the kitchen window, watching the quiet street outside my home. This house had been my pride for decades. Every brick, every piece of furniture, every photo on the wall held memories of a life I had worked hard to build. I had spent 42 years working as an electrical engineer. Long shifts, sleepless nights, and sacrifices were normal for me, but I never complained because I believed I was building a future for my family. Especially for my only son, Daniel. Daniel had always been the center of my world. After his mother passed away when he was just 14, I raised him alone. I cooked his meals. I helped him with homework. I attended every school event. When he got into college, I used nearly half of my savings to make sure he graduated without debt. When he married Lauren, I even helped them with the down payment for their house. I never expected anything in return. All I wanted was to see him happy. That morning, however, something strange happened. I received a notification from the bank on my phone. It said, "Large withdrawal request pending verification." At first, I assumed it was some kind of mistake. I rarely made big transactions, and I had not authorized anything recently. Still, something about it bothered me. So I decided to drive to the bank and clear things up. I had no idea that decision would change everything. The moment my heart stopped. When I walked into the bank, the place looked peaceful as usual. A few people sat waiting in chairs. The quiet tapping of keyboards filled the air. It felt like just another normal day. Then I saw them. Standing at the main counter were Daniel and Lauren. At first I smiled instinctively. Maybe they were just handling their own banking. But then I noticed something that made my stomach tighten. On the counter were documents with my name printed on them. My account number. My financial details. My smile disappeared. I slowly walked closer. And then I heard Daniel say something that made my entire body go cold. "Just transfer the rest of it, my father won't need it." For a moment, I thought I had misheard. But when I stepped closer, Lauren saw me. Her face turned pale instantly. "Ren!" Daniel turned around slowly. The expression on his face told me everything. They had never expected me to walk in. The truth revealed. "Dad, what are you doing here?" Daniel asked nervously. I looked at the documents. Maybe I should ask you the same thing. The bank teller looked confused as she glanced between us. Lauren forced a nervous laugh. "Oh, Ren, we were just helping organize your finances." I didn't respond. Instead, I turned to the teller. How much money were they trying to withdraw? She hesitated before answering. Approximately $780,000. The number echoed in my mind. That wasn't just money. That was 40 years of my life. Daniel sighed as if he were tired of explaining something obvious. "Dad, relax, it's not a big deal." I stared at him. "Not a big deal." Lauren stepped in. "We were just planning ahead." "Planning what?" I asked. Daniel shrugged. "You're retired, you're not using the money anyway." The words hit me like a punch. "And that means you can take it." Daniel rubbed his forehead impatiently. "Look, Dad, we have responsibilities, kids, a mortgage, investments. And stealing from me solves that." Lauren's voice turned cold. "It's not stealing, it's family money." Then Daniel said something I will never forget. You'll probably pass away in 10 or 15 years anyway. Why let the money sit there? For a moment, the world felt silent. My own son had just spoken about my life like it was a timer counting down. The bank manager. The tension caught the attention of the bank manager, who quickly approached us. Is there a problem here? I answered calmly. Yes, someone is trying to withdraw money from my account using documents I never signed. The manager examined the papers carefully. His expression quickly changed. These signatures require verification. Daniel's confidence began to crumble. Lauren tried to interrupt. We already explained. But the manager shook his head. If the account holder disputes the authorization, the transaction must be stopped immediately. Within seconds, the withdrawal was cancelled. My savings were safe. But something inside my heart had been broken forever. The walk outside. Daniel followed me out of the bank. Dad, wait. I stopped beside my car. You embarrassed us in there, he complained. I turned slowly. Embarrassed you? Lauren crossed her arms. You're making this bigger than it is. I looked at them carefully. You tried to take everything I had. Daniel shook his head. That money will be mine eventually anyway. That sentence was the moment everything changed. No, I said quietly. What do you mean? He asked. That money will never be yours. A night of reflection. That evening, I sat alone in my living room. The house was quiet. On the wall hung dozens of old photographs of Daniel growing up. His first bike. His graduation. His wedding day. Every picture reminded me of the sacrifices I had made for him. And yet, the man I raised believed my life savings already belonged to him. I realized something painful that night. Sometimes love makes you blind. And sometimes the people you trust most can betray you the worst. The next morning, I called a lawyer. The decision that changed everything. Over the next 3 weeks, we reorganized everything. My savings. My investments. My property. Every single asset I owned was placed into a protected trust. But the most important change was this. Daniel was no longer included in my will. Instead, my estate would be divided between charities that support elderly people who have been abandoned by their families. Scholarship funds for students who cannot afford college. And a community retirement center. Daniel received nothing. The consequence is, when Daniel received the legal notice, he stormed to my house. You disinherited me, he shouted. I remained calm. You tried to steal from me. It was my future. No, I replied quietly. It was my life. Lauren glared at me. You're punishing your own son. I shook my head slowly. No, I'm protecting my dignity. For the first time in his life, Daniel had nothing to say. He simply turned around and walked away. A new purpose. Months passed. Life became quieter. Lonelier, yes. But strangely peaceful. I began volunteering at a senior center, helping people who had been abandoned by their families. Listening to their stories made me realize I wasn't alone. And helping them gave my life a new sense of purpose. One afternoon, while sitting on a park bench watching the sunset, I understood something important. The money Daniel tried to take mattered. But what mattered even more was something deeper. Self-respect. And for the first time in a long time, I felt proud of myself for protecting it. Moral of the story. Never allow anyone, even your own children, to treat your life, your work, or your dignity as something they are entitled to take. Love should be built on respect. And when respect disappears, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stand up for yourself. Because family should protect your heart. Not try to empty your bank account. My name is Ren, I am 66 years old. And the day I walked into that bank, I didn't just save my money. I saved my dignity.